Hi everyone, it's Liz, the Frugal Libertarian, and I wanted to give you a really quick Earth Day related video. And this video is why I am big on reusing things, but I don't recycle. And now you're probably thinking I'm a horrible human being who is destroying the planet and the world is doomed to die because of my actions. The New York Times published an essay written by a man who investigated the entire recycling industry. He went into municipal recycling, he watched people do it from home, and he looked at the actual costs. A link to that article and the one he did a couple years ago as a follow-up saying this problem hasn't gone away. But he said it costs way too much money to do it. It wastes a ton of resources to take something and repurpose it, and it doesn't make sense. If you're doing it to protect the environment, you're actually doing quite a bit of harm to the environment by doing it. So, you know, it's kind of like my friend who does cloth diapers is sitting there, my cloth diapers are so much more environmentally friendly, and I'm sitting there going, well, you're using a lot of clean water to wash those. I don't think they're as zero impact as you think they are. Recycling is the same way. Even if you sort your recycling perfectly and you wash it ahead of time, they have to rewash it when it gets there. That uses a lot of water, that uses a lot of energy. It has to be transported, it has to be broken down. It, again, takes a lot of energy and a lot of resources to do that. Things like paper. Most of the so-called virgin paper that goes into the paper making process in the United States comes from tree farms. We're not cutting down the rainforest to make paper. And there are a ton of videos and memes on Facebook that all claim this. We should cut down all these trees for paper, it's horrible. All of those trees are farmed. And the person that is doing the tree farming has a vested interest in A, protecting them, and B, continuing to grow more trees on top of the ones he just cut down, because that's how he makes money. It's not an industry where they go into a deep forest and just knock everything down and say, screw you animals. And while the trees are growing, they provide a wonderful habitat for animals. It's actually not as much of a demon industry as everybody has been told to think it is. So yes, and plus paper ends up in a landfill. The biodegradation rate of paper is really fast. I dare you to take a piece of newspaper, ball it up, and put it in your yard and sit and wait until it's gone. It moves really, really fast. Because of this, because me and my husband live our lives based on the rationality of if it doesn't do good, it just makes me feel good, but it's actually doing harm, then I shouldn't be doing it. We look at the overall cost of all the recycling programs, the waste generated by recycling programs, both carbon waste due to transportation and manufacturing and cleaning and all that, and just the fact that a lot of the stuff that gets recycled sits and waits for somebody to want it. If it was a viable product that then the municipality could sell to manufacturing, it wouldn't cost the municipality anything to be doing the recycling. But that's not the way it works. It costs millions of dollars a year to recycle because these products get created, this, you know, raw plastic, raw glass, whatever it is, gets created and then it sits until somebody says, hey, I think I can make something out of that, can I have it? But if you think of every single municipality in America doing this, that's a lot of raw material that nobody is buying. A friend of mine who is a very big environmentalist, he stopped recycling after he went to do an internship with NASA. And from their office, they overlooked into a harbor. And I'm not going to say exact location or anything, I don't want to out him. But they overlooked into a harbor. And he saw these barges covered in just material that never moved. He was there for, I think it was over 2 months in this office, and it never moved. And one day he asked one of the people who was a manager, and he said, what is that stuff? That barge has been sitting there all this time. And the director was like, yeah, that barge has been there for like a year. It's all the raw material that was created from the municipal recycling. Nobody wants it, so it's sitting there waiting for somebody to want it. My friend stopped recycling after that because he went, this is a joke. We're not saving anything. We're not making anything better, we're harming things, but it makes us feel good. Penn and Teller did an excellent episode on recycling, where they talk about how recycling is a, quote, gree-gree, meaning it makes you feel good, but it actually doesn't do anything. After all of that, like I said, I'm a big reuser, so I believe taking an item and reusing it in my home a second time, a third time, a fourth time, not buying something new because I've got something I can fix, buying things that are already used so you're not paying for a brand new manufacturer. Things like that to me are an absolutely valid way of reducing how much I'm creating in the world, because I'm getting things that were already created. I'm just taking them for a new purpose, or I'm reconfiguring them, or I'm just buying them used. So I'm a big believer in reuse. But based on the information we have on recycling, which it's hysterical to me, every liberal I know, when I've shared the New York Times article, they have called it right-wing conservative propaganda garbage. From the New York freaking Times. I don't think so. My son's reading books here at the table with me, and most of these books, I would say half of the books he's reading were purchased used. You know, there's a whole world around reuse that is fantastic and positive and just excellent for the environment. You're reusing, you're not creating, you're using. Here we go, 2 of the 3 R's, reduce, reuse. The last one, recycle. So I just wanted to give you that little Earth Day thing to ponder. I will include the links to the New York Times articles so that you can read them for yourself. And again, this is a very, very liberal paper, and yet they're putting this in, which to me gives it slightly more validity because it's going against the other stuff they're publishing, but they're still publishing it. I am Liz, the Frugal Libertarian, here with my son, who's being very silly, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.